J-Rod with Walla Walla Mountain Bike Trails, and today I want to kind of talk about what I think makes for a good mountain bike ride. So a good mountain bike ride should be a lot like going out to your favorite restaurant for dinner. You should have a very satisfying meal. You should be able to, when you walk out of the restaurant, you're not hungry. That's always important. And the final thing is nobody likes to eat alone. So obviously, if you want to enjoy a good dinner, you want to make sure that you enjoy that with friends. And it should be so enjoyable that you can't wait to go back and do it again. So keeping that in mind, that's kind of what I think is the good ingredients for a really good mountain bike ride. So today's mountain bike ride was the Elkhorn Crest trail, and then the downhill portion of the Elkhorn Crest trail was the Dutch Flat Trail. Now, if you're not familiar with this area is by Baker, Oregon, North Powder, Oregon, the Anthony Lakes ski area. So this is definitely a shuttle ride, and I'll explain why it's a shuttle ride as I get into this. So some things about this ride that I think make it a great ride. First of all, when you get to Anthony Lakes, I highly recommend that you don't start at the Elkhorn Crest trailhead. Where you start at is the top of Anthony Lakes, and they have a flow trail. It's called Broadway Flow Trail, which is the flow trail on a ski hill. Kind of lazily zigzags down the hill. It's got a couple little features on it, but without a doubt, definitely if you're going to drive all the way to Anthony Lakes to do this trail, finish the drive to the top of Anthony Lakes and ride down from there. Take advantage of that. You know, the ski lifts aren't running, so you will have to drive to the top, and then somebody will have to drive you down. And it is a little sketchy of a road going down, so make sure your driver is confident when they head back down. When you get to the bottom of Anthony Lakes, you'll take the Black Lake Trail or the Elkhorn Crest trailhead, and you're going to ride that about 3 miles up to the top of I think they call it Angel Peak, or it's Angel Summit. It's about, I'm gonna guess, probably about 7,000-8,000 feet, because you're on top of the trailhead there. So it's like I said, it's a 3 mile ride. It's about 1,200 feet. So one of the features that I talk about quite a bit is hike-a-bike, and I don't like hike-a-bike. And the unfortunate part about this ride is that first 3 miles of 1,200 feet of climbing is a lot of hike-a-bike. There's a lot of it that's rideable, but unfortunately part of that makes it a hike-a-bike is you're off the bike, you're back on it again, and then you're back off of it again, and so quick that it's almost a waste of time to get on the bike and ride to the next section. So you end up hiking between a few sections that you could ride. So you could ride it a little bit more if you wanted to. And if you're a little bit more of an advanced rider or an e-bike, certainly you could probably ride it even more. I don't get a whole lot of enjoyment out of trying to ride across a lot of large marbly baby heads that just want to roll you around. It's super challenging. Some people enjoy that, but it's difficult. So when you get to the top of the Dutch Flat Saddle, Angel Peak, there's a question. And the question is, does the trail go into the wilderness? And after doing a lot of research and trying to look for trail maps, the answer is yes, the trail goes into the wilderness, which means you can't ride it. So you have to make a determination as to how you want to do this, or if you even want to do this, because there is no gray area on riding into the wilderness. You can't even lift up your bike and walk through the trail. The unfortunate piece about this is from the wilderness boundary to the Dutch Flat Trail, which you want to ride down, is maybe less than a quarter of a mile. So it almost leads you to the temptation of just saying, what the heck, and go for it, which is what we did. So I'm not going to advocate you do that, but if you do, you're going to find that you're going to hit the Dutch Flat trail, which is going to give you about an 8 or 10 mile ride down to the trailhead, and that's pretty much all downhill. It's marked as a black diamond, but it's only marked as a black diamond because there are some rocky features when you're going down. It's definitely a black diamond if you want to try and climb it, because it's uphill all the way. You literally don't have to pedal once going down. That's probably an exaggeration, but you get my point. But there are some rocky features that can be challenging for, you know, intermediate or beginner riders, but for the most part, it's a really great trail. If you're afraid of heights, like me, then it gets even a little more exciting, because there are definitely some exposure out on those bluffs that will kind of scare you a little bit. But what makes this a great trail ride is obviously not the hike-a-bike, and I wouldn't even do the hike-a-bike if I didn't know that the 10 miles of downhill were going to be so satisfying, because by the time you get to the bottom of the 10 miles of downhill, you completely forgot about the 3 miles of uphill that you just pushed your bike up to get there. So I definitely would do this again. The views on this ride are the best you're going to get. You know, you're at 8,000 feet in the Blue Mountains, Elkhorn wilderness area, and the views are just absolutely amazing. The trail features are absolutely amazing. The high mountain lakes are incredible. So there's just not anything about this ride that is disappointing once you get on top. So take the journey, Anthony Lake Ski Area, Elkhorn Crest mountains to Dutch Flat Trail, and then if you wanted to, when you get down to the paved road at the bottom of Dutch Flat, you could literally ride another 5 miles into North Powder, Oregon. It's all downhill. So if you wanted to extend the ride and just take a little fun bomb down an asphalt road, you could do that as well. So it's a great ride. I've met some great friends that I'm starting to go riding with. So they were out with me today and they enjoyed the trail, and I know they had a good time. So take advantage of it. Definitely wouldn't attempt this from the bottom of the Elkhorn or at the bottom of the Dutch Flat, because it is a long, grueling uphill ride. I did happen to see a guy, quite interestingly, on a vintage, I'm talking a Univega mountain bike, probably from the late 80s or early 90s, out on the trail. And I asked him if he thought, or if he knew what he was getting into. He knew exactly what he was getting into. He knew exactly what he was riding. And you know, that's what makes it a great trail ride, is what you get out of it. Obviously, I wouldn't be up there on that bike, but he was enjoying it, and that's his thing. And then the final thing that even made this trail more fun is when we got down to the bottom, just happened to be a guy standing there with a cooler full of beer. So that was our reward as we ended the trail, is just a friendly mountain biker that offered us a cold beer when we got done with the ride. So it was a great ride. It was a great trip. I definitely recommend that you try it. Just be careful with that wilderness boundary, and do what you got to do. And have a great time. Always keep riding, have fun, and we'll see you out there on the trails.
See sparkle in your eye, dressed with hardly a word spoken, say our casual goodbye. There's no meaning in your leaving, still I feel like I